Imagine you're standing on a stage in front of 1,000 people you handpicked. How would you use this opportunity? What would you tell them? While you think about that, let me tell you a short story. A few years ago, I watched an interview with a legendary cinematographer who described an eye-opening moment from the set of Rosemary's Baby. A character is speaking on the phone, and we see her from the hallway, something like this. He placed the camera, was all ready to shoot, but then the director said, no, not like that. Move the camera to the side so that we can't see her face. That made no sense to him. But then came the premiere. And when the shot played, he looked around and noticed something remarkable. People in the audience leaned to the side, trying to see a little bit more. That's cinematic impact, the power to move people, literally. Now today, I'm going to show you how you can use cinematic impact with your audience. So keep thinking about that message you want them to internalize. For the past 2 decades, I worked in movies as a cinematographer. The job of the cinematographer is not just to create pretty pictures, although we should know how to do that too. The cinematographer's job is to help a director deliver their vision with images. And today, you are the director, and I'm your cinematographer. Now, in movies, the director is considered the main artist and storyteller. But the director is not the one who operates the camera, builds sets, composes music, acts. Each of these fields is a world of its own. And today, most of you are business leaders here. And actually, you're in the same position as a movie director. You have an idea, a product or a goal you want to share, a message you need to deliver. And you want to express it in a way that grabs your audience's attention, that moves them, like that shot from Rosemary's Baby. How do we deliver messages in such an impactful way? Well, we can build a website, we can design a presentation, we can even shoot a video. But each of these mediums is a profession unto itself that takes years to master, like building sets and operating cameras on a movie set. And like a movie director, there's simply no way for you to be able to do it all well on your own. Your best bet is to lead a team of creative people across different mediums, like a movie director does. But how do directors lead teams of experts across so many different disciplines, despite the fact they're not experts themselves? That's the secret to the cinematic impact. In movies, the message is an emotional message. Just think of the most impactful movie moments. How can we replicate that? Think of selling products. That's a message too. But the most successful companies, they don't try to sell us products. They sell feelings. With cinematic impact, this emotional message is usually not addressed directly. It's inferred. That's where the magic happens, where you see a jacket and think of adventures, or look at shoes and become inspired. This inferred emotional message needs to be delivered over more than just images. That's where a director collaborates with other artists. If you've ever been to an Apple store, then you know that the store, the product, the website, even the shopping bag, they're all consistent. And finally, the message needs to resonate with an audience, not just individuals. Our message is designed for many people, and they all need to understand it the same way. An inferred emotional message delivered coherently across mediums that resonates with an audience. Sounds complicated. Well, if it was simple, then every movie would be a blockbuster and every product would have iPhone-level success, right? But it's within your reach. I've guided hundreds of filmmakers, some of whom went on to create the movies you and I enjoy now. The first step to cinematic impact is to find your visual story. A visual story is different from a regular story. You know the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Let's say you're walking in the street and somebody walks up to you and says, "Can I ask you a question?" What would make you say yes, and what would make you run away? Most likely what you see even if the question stays exactly the same. The actual message you're getting is more than just the words. In movies, words come from a script, but the story, the one delivered from different mediums, that's images and music and acting, that transcends the words in a screenplay. The result is greater than the sum of its parts, and that's where the visual story lies. How is all this related to your message, the one you want to deliver? Well, what if I told you that your message, the one you have, is just the first step, like a script, and now you need to find the inferred emotional message. That's the visual story you need to deliver. A visual story is a character's journey of transformation. In movies, characters change. They make decisions or realizations. They learn something. So first ask yourself, who's the main character in your visual story? I'll give you a hint. It's not you. You're important too. You're the storyteller. Your main character is the person listening to you. So ask yourself, how do you want them to change when your message lands? Think of your message, the one from earlier. Maybe you're trying to sell something. Maybe you're selling yourself. Some of you are trying to motivate people, to push them into action. Whatever your message is, think of the character's transformation. The jacket I'm selling, it's going to launch you from mundane life into adventure. My investor pitch, it's going to turn you from doubting to being inspired. Just introducing myself, you'll turn from bored to fascinated. This ad by the North Face embodies this transformation perfectly. The environment is the mundane life, and the jacket is the fresh air that comes in. But you can find different versions of this in video, text, websites, anything that tells a story. Take logo design, for example. Some companies base their logo on their products instead of an inferred message. Now, I don't want to put anybody on the spot here, so I'm not going to use real logos. But what do you think of this? A shoe for a shoe company, a letter for a delivery service, a computer, well, you get the idea. Not very inspiring, right? The successful companies out there, they focus on the inferred emotion and create logos that communicate a feeling. They might even use other objects to communicate that feeling. The reason this works is because we're used to uncovering inferred messages. We don't just believe anything we're told. Andrew Stanton, the director of Finding Nemo, said, "The greatest stories are those where the audience can feel what's going on, even if it's never said." Remember your message from earlier? Find the inferred emotion. Become the director of your visual story. Use cinematic impact, and your story will resonate long after the lights go back on. Thank you.